I added the entirety of planet Earth to my Minecraft mod, among other things. Starting off, there's some new gadgets we can craft. With an iron ingot, 2 bronze ingots, 2 complex electronics, and 2 nuggets, we can make a robot arm. This is just used for some crafting stuff, like it's used in the canning machine, but it's also used in a new machine, the electric mixer. Now the mixer is an electric version of the stone mixer added last update, but this one uses energy instead of manual clicking. I also added a ton of new mixer recipes. For example, if you add in all 4 raw meats, and you wait a while, side note, I animated the front, I'm proud of it, and you get 6 mystery meat instead of the usual, like, 2 you would have gotten. So yeah, it can be used for a bunch of things, more efficient ratios, stuff like that. Pretty cool. Next, let's talk about the new squirrel mob. These guys are an early game food source. They're extremely weak and spawn commonly in all forest biomes. They drop raw squirrel, which can be made into mystery meat like so, and it can be smelted for cooked squirrel. A chainsaw can be crafted like so, and what the chainsaw does is if you break a tree with it, it cuts down the whole thing. So yeah, a really fast tree capitator. I'm actually going to change the recipe so it's more expensive, but you know, I'll do that later. I don't feel like it right now. I really got to get this video out. With this new crafting component known as a strong rotor, which is crafted by surrounding a regular rotor with tungsten, you can make some special things. First of all, you can make centrifuge casing, and you can make a regular centrifuge. Now the centrifuge is used for automatic and more efficient sieving. So if I place the casing, the centrifuge, and another casing on top, it's now functional. So this is another multi-block as well. But yeah, simply give the centrifuge some energy. And you can see if I put some gravel inside, it'll start centrifuging. Now that first gravel gave me 5 tiny copper piles. And if I have 9 piles, I can do something special. You can see I got 6 more copper piles, I got some zinc, I got some flint. There's a ton of stuff you can get from gravel. And now I put these piles in a crafting table to get a dust with 9 of them. And then I can smelt that into an ingot. So yeah, quick and painless ore collection. You can see I got some gold here, that's pretty rare. It doesn't stop there though, you can use silt and dark silt, as well as sand. Sand gives you the same stuff as gravel, but silt gives you some better stuff. Since you find this stuff in deep slate, you can see I got way more copper. Got some iron, and there's also some other like ores that are exclusive to this, like neodymium. We can get neodymium from this thing. And tungsten. So it's a pretty good way to get it, but you need a lot of tungsten to make this thing, of course. And now if I put dark silt in here, since that's the highest tier gravel, you can see I get tungsten pretty often. You can also get sulfur, as well as glowstone, and neodymium. 28 iron piles just from one. You can also get palladium from here, but I haven't got it yet. But yeah, you're just gonna have to trust me. So yeah, that's the centrifuge. Good way to collect a bunch of ores out of your gravel. Now let's talk about the planet stuff. Before we get there, we're gonna need a lot of Kunk related stuff. Yes, I massively improved the way Kunk is dealt with in this mod. Now if you don't know, Kunk is some like mythical compound element thing, whatever, that I added to my mod. And it's been in the game for like 9 months, but I massively improved it recently. Now, if you want to make a Kunk modifier, you need this new material known as bronze. Bronze is an alloy of lapis and bronze. So how do we get it? Well, first of all, we can make bronze dust with copper and tin to get 4. And then we're also going to need to put lapis into a crusher to get some lapis dust. Now, these are the 2 things we needed. With a bronze dust and 3 lapis dust, you get 2 bronze dust. And now we can simply just smelt it to get a bronze ingot. I'm going to use a foundry, though, because I'm in creative mode. Boom, we got our bronze. And now we can craft the modifier. Now, in case you don't remember, this is how the modifier works. You gotta place Kunk in this slot, and then after you wait a little while, it'll either evolve or devolve. As you can see, we're gonna get cloudy Kunk. That's really good. Now, what happens if I put cloudy Kunk into this one? Clean Kunk is what I want. No, it devolved into greasy. Not what I wanted. What about this one? Will this one give me something good? I'm hoping it does. Kind of need it to for the video. It didn't. It devolved. That's okay, because I'm in creative, like I said. Now, let's say we get our clean Kunk. We can do way better than clean Kunk, because we need higher levels if we want to do the planet stuff. But to get higher levels, we need a Kunk aggregator, and for that, we need grass. Now, you get grass with brass, and through a new crop. If you dig wild bushes, you might come across these mundane spores. And these are what we need to grow to get our grass. Plant them down, and give them tons of fertilizer. These are what fully grown spores look like. Punch them. And you get unhinged spores. We can devolve these with poop to get mundane spores again. But we actually want to crush these. Because when we do, you'll find we get something special. Spore dust. Contains magical and unhinged properties. Kind of like how the lapis contains the element of surprise. Now let's just make some brass made like this. And then with 2 brass and 2 spore, we get grass. And now we just gotta smelt it. Now we have the Kunk aggregator. I'm not going to get into that because I'm probably going to overhaul it in an upcoming update. We'll see. I don't like how the Kunk aggregator works now. Now, before we get to the planet stuff, I want to talk about the other stuff Kunk can be used for in this update. Just because it kind of makes the most sense to put it in this part of the video. Just because of how I added stuff. So let's start with a new block, the Kunk loader, suggested by this person. Now, the Kunk loader is a massive revolution to my mod. It's definitely honestly one of my favorite blocks that I added recently. You just gotta place it down. Make sure you take note of what chunk you put it in. Now, if you look inside, it says it requires Kunk. And you can only give it one of the 3 highest levels, either pure, intelligent, or immaculate. And if you put it in, you can see Kunk is added. And it starts making these particles all over the place. It also turned green and gives off light. Did not mean to do that. Different levels of Kunk will give you more Kunk in the thing, by the way. Immaculate gives you the most. It gives you a ton. And now this chunk is going to stay loaded. Yes, the Kunk loader is literally just a chunk loader for my mod. It should prove useful. Every single Kunk you have in the machine gives you 1 second of loading time. So it's going to be loaded for many, many Minecraft days because of all the immaculate Kunk that I gave it. Pretty cool. Now if I were to leave and explore, do something else, everything in that chunk will stay loaded, so my crops will grow, my machines will work, stuff like that. Now you need a lot of Kunk to keep that thing running, kinda. But mining it, honestly, kinda takes a while, let's be honest with ourselves. It's pretty rare. But now there's a better way to get Kunk. Because with an iron grate and 5 tungsten, you get the Kunk tray. And if I put it in this slot of the modifier, and then I let the modifier run, you see, we get something new after an operation. Kunk Gunk. Now we need 9 of these to do what's next. With 9 Kunk Gunk, you can get Gunk. And now you want to craft this new block, the Kunk Enricher, with a brewing stand, super machine block, and some other crap. Place it down and give it energy. But energy is not all it needs. You can see it says it requires something. And now there's a few items it could require. See, it needs sugar right now, and if I give it sugar, I get a little bit of mass, but now I need gold dust. Put in the gold dust, now I need obsidian? That's right, it requires a bunch of items to actually get producing. It picks about like 9 items from a pool. But yeah, now that it has energy and mass, I can give this thing Gunk, and then after a little while, we get some tarnished Kunk back. So yeah, we can get infinite Kunk this way. Because it's worth noting, if you make an infinite loop of evolving and devolving Kunk, you'll just get unlimited Kunk Gunk, and in turn, unlimited Kunk. Pretty sweet for all you Kunk enthusiasts out there. Okay, let's finally talk about that planet stuff. This is what we needed the Kunk for. First, we want 2 clean Kunk like this, an immaculate Kunk, an intelligent Kunk, and 2 pure Kunk. And we get the Bohemian. Now hold on to this little guy, he'll be important later. We have to actually make our tiny Earth now. Now here's the recipe for it. You need water, grass, saltpeter, a tree, and you need this thing in the middle, the barren planet. And to get a barren planet, you need mantle nuggets and a planet core. A mantle nugget is made by compressing 3 super compressed cobblestone, and a planet core is from 4 super compressed cobblestone, 4 lava, and a nether star. So yeah, this is post-wither. But long story short, once we have the thing, we can do a lot. Allow me to explain. We just have to put our Bohemian in there, and you can see it starts giving us stuff. It collects stuff from the tiny Earth, because you know it lives here now. Although every tick it's alive, it's gonna lose durability. And when it runs out of durability, you lose it. So essentially it like dies of old age. Now you can see it's giving us stuff. We got some poop, we got some rocks, pretty honestly basic stuff. We can do better. So allow me to make a few Bohemians first. I want 2 more. Now there's a slot next to the Bohemians, that's very important. And there's many ways we can utilize it. For example, if I were to give this guy a diamond axe, you can see he'll make us leaves. Yes, depending on the item you give the Bohemian depends on your drops. So if you give him the tools, he can give you better resources. Here, we got some wood from the axe. Very handy. Put those guys to work, you know? Now let's see. If I give this one a pickaxe and this one a fishing rod, you see we got some ores and we got some fish. They're giving us so much cool stuff just from existing. It doesn't stop there. Say I give him a hoe, a shovel, and an athame. And you can see the shovel will give us dirt and sand and other sediments. And the athame will give us Kunk Gunk and human blood. The hoe can also give us like onions. Lastly, the bucket will give you water, lava, grease, and acid. The compass can give you flowers and some other exploring materials. And the grafter will give you tissue samples. Crazy automation. Absolutely crazy automation. There's so much stuff you can get out of this. Really excited to see what people do with it, especially when like you put the ores into a ore processing setup, or use the Kunk Gunk to get more Kunk, cook the fish. There's a lot of options. Really excited. I can't wait for people to play this update. It's been very fun to work on. Now we've checked out a bulk of the update, but I added a bunch of other fun stuff that I think you guys might appreciate. For example, if we crush down some coal, we get coal dust. And if you put coal dust into a hydraulic press, you get carbon fiber plate. And these are really useful for stuff that I added. You'll see. Now let me take a bunch of neodymium and make tons of magnets. We're gonna need a lot of magnets. Now with 2 magnets, 2 carbon fiber, and 2 plastic, we can make magna boots. And in conjunction with that, with some carbon fiber, iron bars, cables, and intelligent Kunk, we get the Magna Pack. Now there's one more gadget we need. We get Magna Pads. Now that's a lot of stuff. How does it work? This is one of my favorite features in the update as well, so let me just demonstrate. You gotta place down your Magna Pads like so. You know you've done it right if they have some sort of aura like this. And now you have to wear the Magna Boots and the Magna Pack. Look at me, looking all snazzy. And now look what happens when I stand on top of this Magna Pad. That's weird. Oh, press space? What? Yeah, that's right. It gives you creative flight. Oh my gosh. As long as you're wearing the pack, the boots, and you're over the pads, you get creative flight in this little area. So useful for building transportation if you want to build a whole row of these. Boss fights even, you can make some sort of arena. It's phenomenal. One of my favorite features. Probably one of the most useful as well. Worth noting, it doesn't work if you're too high above the magnets because then you're out of range. They have about a 20 block range of creative flight. Absolutely insane. Look at me go. I'm just building. And yeah, they work even if there's blocks like under you, by the way. Doesn't matter if there's blocks in between you or what. They'll always work. Like here, let me like cover the terrain below me with them. See, look, there's a ton of them under all the grass, and now I just can fly around here. I can do whatever I want in this giant area. It's amazing. One of my favorite features. It's so sweet. And the particles just look so beautiful. Just my own little spot where I can just play God. Nimble Rod's sold separately, but it's also pretty fun in combination with these magnets. Acetine, Pure Kunk, and Spore Dust have a new use. Yes, I know. It's finally about time Acetine gets an actual use. If you combine all their powers, you get the invisibility sheet. Yeah, it disappears. Now these invisibility sheets are used for a new armor set. Let me just give myself a ton of them. And now if I put them in a formation like this, I get the invisibility cloak. And now that doesn't do much on its own. So let's make the trousers, the slippers, and the hood. Now if I put them all on, watch what happens. As long as I'm wearing the whole cloak, I have permanent invisibility without the particle effects. Yes, the one problem with the invisibility effect, gone. It also provides quite a bit of armor. So not only are you protected, you're also completely invisible. This is the ultimate stealth set. There's another use for these robot arms. With 5 robot arms like so and 4 cables, you get the Robot Arm King. Yeah, this is just an amalgamation of robot arms. It's a big cluster of them. Now, this thing seems useless at first until you right-click it. One ominous slot stares you down. Say I were to put a block inside, and it starts just placing them. Yes, the Robot Arm King will just randomly place blocks, as long as there's blocks in its inventory. And it doesn't matter what block. Netherwart blocks, yeah, those will work. Put a block of Shiso Barrel in there, it should also work. Yep, there it is. Really cool. This is just a fun feature. It's just neat. Not too useful, but pretty cool. I'm sure someone can find some cool stuff for this. I was able to test it, and I know you can get it to, like, place down half doors and half beds. It's really weird. I'm going to keep that in the game because it's funny. And you can also do other stuff, like have it place down TNT next to a redstone block, which will activate it. There's a familiar looking icon staring at me. If I pick it up, oh, that's weird. I start running uncontrollably. Yes, the auto runner. It forces you to move in one direction, as well as giving you jump boost, putting your health at half a heart, and basically just turns you into Geometry Dash. Yes, I made this thing so you can play Geometry Dash in Minecraft. Do I even need any more justification? Yeah, the reason it puts you at half a heart, so if you touch a spike, you instantly die. I'll probably make it craftable in survival. I haven't yet, but I probably will. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe, like, comment, join my Discord, follow my Twitter, play Industrial Basis, subscribe to my second channel, visit my website, follow my DeviantArt, and goodbye.